released a first video of the workers trapped inside the Silkyara tunnel. The visuals were captured using an endoscopic camera sent in through the alternative 6-inch food pipe that has been tunneled in. Now, the video shows the workers wearing yellow and white helmets, and they are seen receiving food items sent to them through the pipeline and talking to each other. This has come as a big relief to the families of these workers. So there you can see it, those visuals that have now been released. It appears that these workers are in good health, and they are also now receiving food. Hot food was delivered to them. This is the first time in 10 days that they have been given hot food. Apart from that, of course, there was a continuous supply of dry fruits and multivitamins that had been provided earlier. Now, even as rescue workers and their teams are trying to tunnel through the area to be able to bring these trapped workers out, we spoke to Arnold Dix. He's one of the experts who's been brought in by the government. He is an international tunneling expert, and here's what he told us.
Right now, we are at the mountainous region of the Silkyara tunnel. What you can see behind me is the mountainous region, and there I would like to request my VJ to pan the camera for you to show all of our audience how beautiful the visual is. But there's a special story about it that Professor Arnold Dix, whose expertise in this field of tunneling, who is the ITA president, International Tunneling Association president, is with me right now. We are going to speak to him and understand the current situation. So, according to you, Professor Dix, what is the current scenario inside the tunnel? How do you see this moving forward, the operation moving forward?
Well, at the moment, we've got multiple rescue missions all happening concurrently. And so, although no one knows which mission will be the successful one, we've got 5 going on right now. So we've got the mission through the collapse area with various techniques going in that way. We've got a mission in the side of the mountain trying to intercept the tunnel. We've got a mission from the top of the mountain coming down, and we've got a mission coming from the other end of the tunnel coming in. So I'm sure we're going to rescue the men. I'm sure they're coming home. I'm just not sure when. Okay.
So, Professor Dix, you have got the expertise of 30 years in this field. Could you please explain to our audience, as you mentioned that there's a 5-pronged strategy, one from the front, the head of the tunnel, another from back side of the tunnel, that is the tail of the tunnel, another from the side, one from the vertical side of the tunnel, right? Could you please explain for our audience, in a layman's language, what are the advantages and disadvantages associated with those endpoints?
So I can best explain them by just showing you a little bit of the rocks and actually explaining to you, you're my new geology tunneling class, okay? So I just want to show you what's inside your mountain, and it's really tricky. So right here behind me, and do you mind if I just put my back a little bit to you? The first thing I want to show you is this mountain right here is collapsing. In fact, it's probably collapsing overnight, and if you look at the rocks, I can just pull them out with my fingers, and I'll show you. They're just smashed pieces of rock. So this tells me that right here, where we're standing, hopefully not right now, this is an avalanche position, right here. There's been an avalanche here quite recently, and it was an avalanche that occurred within the tunnel. So what we're looking at here is an example of how a mountain collapses, and these little broken rocks and all this fine mud is an example. Now, interestingly, immediately to our right is a huge boulder. So if we look, I'm not sure if your cameraman can turn his camera and look, but this here is a great big boulder. This is a boulder, the size of a small house. And this is in amongst the mud and the small rocks, in amongst these littler rocks as well. And this whole mountain is, as I call it, alive and moving. So in a geological sense, when we go to build a tunnel, and we're building a tunnel through these mountains, we have to try and tell exactly where these avalanche points are. Now here on this piece of
how do you describe those avalanche